Hello and welcome to Big Scott 35 Nerdy Thursday. Uh, Today we're going to talk about the Switch and some of my games. I don't have them all out here, but I just want to go not in depth, but just a little overview on why I like it so much. Uh, it might even be my favorite of the modern consoles since they're supposed to be coming out with a Pro, but I heard they might have canceled it. But they have a couple of different ones. Now, for me, I'll show you real quick the one I have. I have my cool little Zelda, which got a little sticky on it because it travels with me, and that's what the case is for. So this is a day one purchase. Uh, all they had was the Zelda cases left. They had a plain black one that I really liked, so I can hold. This is if you don't have a screen cover, having one of these is great for cleaning your screen. This is great because this is the size of the games, right? So that's Zelda Links to the Awakening, I think what it's called. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 games in here, plus one in the system, which I can't remember. So I got 15 games that I carry with me. I need to change some of them out. I've gotten quite a few new games. So that's the holder. And then inside, I got my hearing thing for it. And then I just got the black charcoal. That's the one I wanted. I didn't like the two color. To me, that's a little kiddish. I always have these with me. I do have extra memory. Let's see, what else do I have in here? And another cloth. You can't have too many cloths to wipe the front of this because it will get just air. Just sitting in the air, you see a little spotting on it from just moisture in the air. So just have that to clean it off. This is my travel companion. I do have it came with the one that hooks up with the TV, and this is what it goes in. So I don't know. Yeah, you see it in there. Just docks right in there. Cord. Let's see. Yeah, so the cord goes in there, comes right out. Does have docks on the side as well for it's easier to some of the controllers. You can have a corded controller or cordless. I don't like taking the Switch cons off, which are the Joy Cons, on the side. So I have controllers. I bought this one also on day one. And they do have like a little piece that the Joy Cons slide on. To me, it doesn't feel as good. They have very good controllers. They're a little on the small side for my hands, but I do like them. They're probably my second best favorites to the new PlayStation controllers, which got bigger. Xbox always had the better controllers to me. And then I bought the special edition Smash Bros. The box and everything I have in storage right now, but I do have this special edition Smash Bros. Controller. So I have two, and it really doesn't have like Smash Bros. Any insignia on it. I do have a metal case for it, but that's it for that. That's the peripherals and the hardware. Onto the software, the meat and potatoes, why you buy the system to play with. I think what I was saying before is like the concept of playing it on your TV and just picking it up and continuing on going. I usually, even when I'm sitting in my house, I play handheld with it. But I will hook it up. On some games, I like to play on a bigger screen. And the graphics do get better when you play it on your TV. As you know, I have 4K. It doesn't push 4K. I think it's straight up HD, if I remember correctly. But I think the new OELs might push to 4K, and the Pro was supposed to. But we'll see. But it plays, as you can tell, pretty much all the games that are out there now. And this is something new for Nintendo. They got a lot of third parties now that if you make it on the other consoles, you can make a version that goes on the Switch. It might not be the perfect version that goes on the Switch as likeness, but to me, man, unless you put the two systems, the games side by side on two TVs, even then it's hard to tell. It to me, I'm not one of those people that's got to have the perfect setup. I have two 4Ks for gaming on. But for the longest time, I gamed on HD until 4Ks came down to a reasonable price. Now they got the new stuff to push on the new. I have a PS5, but I'm not going to go run out and get the newest TV. From what I've been reading, it really doesn't push to that limit anyway yet. So you're not really getting the full. It takes a while for the developers to be able to use the system until it's full of capacity. And a lot of times they move on to the new system and they haven't even reached the full capacity of the old system. They got upgrades and they want to sell new hardware, in my view. Now, a little background with me and Nintendo. I did have the original NES. I sold it to a friend that was for a very good price with all the games. He was having some issues with a real addiction. So when he came back home from where he had to stay for a while, me and him came to a deal where I'll sell you this at this price as long as you promise me before you do something stupid to come by and we'll talk or whatever. But I never had this is my first system of Nintendo that I've had since then. That's how much I believe in this system. I really think it's an ingenious, the other ones, especially PlayStation, has come up with things like the Vita and the PSP, where you could connect it and do these other things, but you had to buy the game twice. You had to do all this other stuff. This, it's just, I really like it, and it was very smart on their hand. On there. Now, enough about that. Let's get to the software. I thought this was going to be a quick video. I love to talk, and I'm very excited about sharing this because this is one of those systems that I really like. And it's Nintendo, but this one is more for a whole family, not for this children. And I'm not talking about it in a wee way where you can all just get up and play bowling together. I'm saying that it's something for everybody in the family to enjoy. So first off is they do have fighting games, beat 'em ups, which I really enjoy. Old school beat 'em ups. That was some of the first games I played in Double Dragon that I played in at the bowling alley at the arcades. So I really, really enjoy the beat 'em ups. Streets of Rage 4 is a very popular game. Now, you'll see on the spine they're made by Limited Run Games, and I will talk more about that later. That's who's distributing them. They do make dungeon crawlers if you're into that. Hades. Haven't been able to get into this one yet, but I heard it's a lot of fun. Sport games. This is, believe it or not, the only sport game I have other than Mario, one of the Mario Karts. So is golf. And again, it's just easy pick up, play golf game for it. Let's see. Then they got the old school games that these Limited Run and some of the other people are putting back out, even their own developers, because they know you can, this system is good, and this a good way to do the remakes on. So this is from Limited Run. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which I have on other consoles, and Goal Patrol, which I wasn't familiar with, but I got it mainly for Zombies Ate My Neighbors. The whole Castlevania collection, not the whole one, but most of them, including some of the very, early games. And I mean, that's part of and I'll get into that in a minute with side scrolling. If you know, you know, Dragon's Lair, that's the trilogy. And you're saying, so they have Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, and Dragon Lair, the Warp is in this. So another game I used to play in. And also, I love the cartoon. I used to play that in arcades. Resident Evil Revelations collection. So this is Revelations and Revelations 2 remake. I usually Resident Evil I pick up on different consoles and stuff. I love zombie game. I love anything doing with zombies. I did get rid of a bunch of my Walking Dead stuff because I just had to downsize. But I love zombie movies. I love the books. I just love everything about that zombie culture, I guess. It's kind of fascinating. And then another one, if you know, you know. So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Me and my friends used to tear this up back in the day on the Sega Genesis. So I got that on there. That's one of the games that I carry. It's just just hit buttons and just don't really have to think about things. It's just fun. Next is going to be, I love my Star Wars. Thanks to Limited Run, they brought back a lot of games from other consoles. So what Limited Run, I'll get into it in a minute. I'll get into it. I get ahead of myself. So here's my Star Wars games. Racer, one of my favorite games of all time, Star Wars Republic Commando. I have this on the Xbox OG on the original console. So this one, I love Steelbooks. Love them. So I did buy the special edition Star Wars Jedi Knight and Jedi Outcast, which is 2 games. So I got the Steelbook as well. Love Steelbooks. And then I got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which I want to get into, but I'm scared once I do, it's going to be hard to put down, and I'll probably eat up a lot of time. And I just don't have a lot of gaming time right now. I'm trying to carve out time. I'm still trying to get used to working second shift and everything like that. It's been almost a year, but about half a year, I should say. And then Star Wars Force Unleashed, which I really love. The character the main character in this, he plays in Days Gone. He's been on Batgirl's a bad guy on TV. He's in what is that? Inhuman or whatever, where he plays a vampire. I really like this character. The character actor, he's good, and I really like this. They made 2 of them. They were teasing a third, and I think instead of doing that, they did the Last Jedi or whatever, the one that's coming out now instead. And I just really like this game. And when I started playing that other Jedi game, I went back to trying to use how the system was set up. Then my hands just went right back to it. This is one of those games that I was at work thinking about playing when I got home. That's how much I got into it. And not everybody was like that, but for me as a Star Wars guy, you play with the guy that was set up to be a bad guy, a Sith, and he turns good. It just, it was fun. It was just a fun, well written, just a fun game. Number 2 wasn't that as good as 1, but I think because 1 was so good, you just could. Those expectations were just so high. But what Nintendo is known for is platformers. I mean, they took the platforming game and just crushed it, knocked it out of the park with Mario and all of them. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but now as I got older, I have a new appreciation for platformers, and I fell in love with them all over again. So I just think this is a great system to get the platformers on, especially when they remake them. So Spyro, Valis, the Phantasm Soldier Collection, and a lot of these limited runs I've never heard of, but I just researched them, and if it looked like a cool game, why not? I just, unless it was stupid crazy. Switch games are a little bit cheaper than other systems. Day one purchase with the system, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Have not beaten it. Very frustrating to me. I don't like where you pick up a weapon and it just doesn't work very long. That's very frustrating. And man, some of the puzzles I'm not I'm not very good at. I do have Link's Awakening. I have not played it yet, but it's in I carry it with me, ready to play. As I was saying, you got to have some Super Mario 3D All Stars, where you get 3 games on one. Just a no-brainer to get. A couple of these I have played, especially on the Wii. I didn't really like the controller, so I'm really excited. Especially, I think the Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy. I know the Galaxy I tried to play. I played some of it, and then I just got frustrated with it and stopped. So I'm really, I think I have that all. Yeah, I have that as well. Like I said, it's my travel companion. I usually always have it with me. So breaks at work, whatever. I have that in my I always have a Star Wars book with me. So Kirby's Star Allies. I think I picked that up like on sale. What I'm doing now is like if I know it's something I can wait to play. I don't have to get it on day one. If I don't get it day one and ready to play it, I just wait. I know that's not good for sales for if you want a second. And I think the companies need to relook at that, like Days Gone. Days Gone was a game that wasn't pushed by one of the bigger developers and kind of got lost in the mix on day one. So, but a lot of people got it when it went cheaper, and also now they're getting it while it's on PC now. And I think Sony said they didn't want a second one because it didn't sell very well. Well, it did after people played other stuff and came back, and after the people like me that played it said this is an amazing game. Again, that same characters in it, lead character. Just that zombie game was made correctly. Yes, was it perfect? No, but man, it was very good, entertaining, great story, set up for its second part. Love the characters, played by a lot of real people that you would recognize. Um, just fun game to play and hard to put down once you started playing it. And it was one of those games that if you're a completionist, it's really fun. I'm not in that. Once I get to a certain point, I finished. I was like, oh, I want to complete it because I can see I could do it. I just got bored. I already beat it. If I was going to play it, I was going to start over at the beginning again and see if I complete it while I'm playing. But yeah, those things are awesome. And then Toe Jam and Earl, back in the groove. That's just one of those funny games. I ain't even taking this out of the package. A lot of these you'll see I haven't taken it out of the package because I buy them because I love the game. If I have any FOMO, it's with video games, even though I've learned I can get them at any time. So I kind of backed off. And I was at one time, getting as many Switch games as I liked, that I thought I would want to play because I love the system. But I kind of backed off. And this is one that I need to play. I've heard a lot of great things. Shovel Knight. I heard people just play this game. Heard it's very good. I missed it on some of the other platforms. And I can't remember who was selling this one. If it was Super Rare. Oh, it must be no, it was Nintendo because Amiibo. They got Amiibos. I sold my Amiibos, and if you don't know what an Amiibo is, they're just little figures. you can put on the system, either adds some things to your character or adds the character to the game. I had some. I still had them in package. I had some Zelda ones. Again, just downsizing. I couldn't keep everything. Knew they were packaged in great shape. Got some money for them. So then moved it into buying actual games. So this has got 5 games in there. I didn't realize that either. So yeah, I heard this was a very good game. I'm very interested in playing. And they also have boxed games, special editions. A lot of them are through these other companies like limited edition, but they do sell them. Nintendo when they straight off the shelf. Now let me just talk about this limited edition and stuff. If you're still with me, still hanging in, they're third parties. Let me just share my screen real quick. Getting better at the screen sharing. So let me see if I can't get this a little bit better. So there we have, like, this is super rare games. One of the bigger ones. This is probably the second biggest one. I believe this one's out of Europe. They do have like Japanese imports and stuff like that. Systems, they do have a lot. So you see rare print, 4,000 copies available. So it's just a fun way that they got games that they get released or re-released. They were in the past, and now they're releasing them in the stores for digital downloads. Well, you have somebody like me that like the physical copies, and it's just a fun way to get the physical copies. See, this one is Steelbook edition, 5160. Now, Super Rare does a lot. You see this 12, that's Peggy 12. They do a lot with that developer, with the Peggy developer. You'll notice that a lot on their games. All right, let's see here. Okay. So this is the bigger developer. This is limited edition. They get kind of called out on making the games rare at one point. So now they do something like they make more games. You can see down here they got box ones and stuff like that. I did order one of these arcade ones, like grates, stuff like that. And they just have all kinds of stuff. So you see they got all different types. You can get them for anything. I usually just go to the Nintendo Switch, unless it's a game. I do have a PlayStation 4 game, Star Wars game that they only release, but they also release it on PC. If you have an old school PC sitting around that people still play on, they make them for PCs. Nintendo, they'll every once in a while do a Nintendo NES release or Super 64. I do have a retro Retron 5 to play those on. They do release them on Dreamcast releases, things like that. So it's pretty cool. I find games like Crisis 3. We all know what Crisis. We at least heard of it. They have some cool releases, things that you would never think of. I do have this West of the Dead, Path of the Crow, things like that. But the only thing is like when you order them, don't think you're going to get them the next day, because they order to basically, and that's the print run. They will order. They do make more because they'll go to shows and set up and sell on there, but they want to get some type of idea before they sell them. So like right here is a limited run release, but it's like in the old Nintendo packaging, and so that's like a special release. And when you click on them, I didn't want to add it in my cart. I want to do this. So down here, it will show you screenshots if you're not familiar. So you can see this as a side scroller. I saw this. I'm very interested in this. And you can always click on YouTube and watch some about the game. And that's what I usually do. And then if I'm really interested, still don't know, I'll go to YouTube and just pull it up, because these are usually been out for a while. If they're new digital releases, just to let you know. And then last one I want to show, but this is not the last of the. So this is Red Art Games, and again, I think this one might be out of Asia or France. It's one or the other. But again, same concept. They make digital or take digital games and make hard copies, or they do have releases. Limited Run did have a special release on the new Star Wars game, which I'm sad I missed on, where you got a lightsaber from the game, a replica lightsaber the hilt from the game. And now I think they were the only ones that's got a real special edition out there. Everybody else's special edition is getting cosmetics and a steel book. I'm not going to pay twice as much to get cosmetics and a steel book. So I just wanted to go over that, very briefly, and where else. Because some of those games, if you're a gamer like me, like, where did he find that? I only saw that digital, or I've never seen that before. Where did he get it? There's plenty of these. You can always Google, I forget, like any type of like switch or limited games or source game, hard copy source games. I forget what I searched, and you get several from all over the world, and just an easy way. And there's Facebook groups for international ones. I believe the Switch will play games automatically from anywhere in the world. You don't need to get a special game or jailbreak it, as the kids call it. So that is it for that. That's good English. So we talked just briefly on the Switch. Some of my games. That's most of my games. I don't have a very deep library. I didn't think there was a lot of games till I started really looking at it, and there's a lot. And when you start looking at Limited Run and these other companies, what do you call part of the collection if you're a collector? I just like to get games on that system that I want to play, that will let me leave reality for periods of time. We all need that a little bit sometimes in our life. But I love the game, so I just got stuff that I really thought would be fun to play with. So until next time, like, share, tell a friend. Let me know if there's something in the gaming world you want me to go through. I know somebody told me they wanted me to go in depth with Star Wars at the beginning of this. I did last week. I don't want to make it compound. I have other interests, and that's why I'm doing this Thursday. So I was like, what else can I do that's, I don't want to burn through everything either. So just let me know, your thoughts. What are you gaming? If you game, when was the last time you gamed? What console was the last one? What was your first console? That's stuff I love to hear. So until next time, like, share, hit the bell, do all the YouTube things. Subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you.